Welcome back for the notes for chapter 2.3. And this chapter is all about applications. So it's going to be some story problems and how we can apply our understanding of solving equations and formulas to actual real life situations. So here is an outline of some steps we're going to use that will help you through the process. So the first is to read the problem and then mentally list the items that are known and the items that are unknown. Writing them on the paper is also a good idea. Step 2, assign a variable to one of the unknown items. In most cases, this will amount to letting x equal the item that is asked for in the problem. Then translate the other information in the problem to expressions involving the variable. So I try to write out what's going on in words and then group those words into mathematical symbols to represent the words. Step 3 says reread the problem and then write an equation using the items and variable listed in steps 1 and 2 that describes the situation. Step 4, solve the equation found in step 3. Step 5, write your answer using a complete sentence. And step 6, reread the problem and check your solution with the original voice in the problem. So let's look at example 1. It says the length of a rectangle is 5 times the width. The perimeter is 48 inches. Find the dimensions. So the length is 5 times the width. So I'm going to let L equal the length. Usually is represented with an equal sign. 5 times, that tells us that they're multiplying, times width being W. So 5 times the width. Then it tells us the perimeter is 48 inches. So at the end of lesson 2.2, we had this paper here that gave us some formulas for geometry. And we're looking at a rectangle and the perimeter. So a rectangle and the perimeter is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Because remember that perimeter is just the distance around the outside of an object. And so we have the distance being the width plus the length plus another width plus a length. So we can shorten that by saying the perimeter is equal to 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. So we're going to use the perimeter is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. And we know the perimeter is 48 inches, so we can replace that. And then we can also say that we know the length can be represented by 5 times the width. So I'm going to say 2, and then in parentheses, I'm going to put for the length, this representation of 5W plus 2W. That benefits me because now I have an equation that only has one variable that I can solve for. So 2 times 5 is 10Ws plus 2Ws. So 48 equals 10Ws plus 2Ws is 12Ws. And if we divide by 12, we can see that W is equal to 4. So if W is equal to 4, then we can put that in up here, that W is equal to 4. So we can see that the length is 20. So if that's true, we can draw what we think is true about our rectangle. The length is 20 and 20, and the width is 4 and 4. And if you add those, it equals to be 48 inches. These are all inches. Okay, example 2. A square has a perimeter of 36 centimeters. Find the length of each side. Okay, so square is a rectangle, but it has the same length on all 4 sides. So it looks something like this. Now, this is not a perfect square, I know, but I'm doing my best. So, and because they're all the same size, we can call them x, 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 x. And so we know on perimeter, so we're talking about the distance around. So we know that 4 of the x's equals the perimeter of 36 centimeters. And so if we divide by 4, we can see that each side must be 9 centimeters long. Example 3. It says the longest side of a triangle is 2 times the shortest side, while the medium side is 3 meters more than the shortest side. The perimeter is 27 meters. Find the dimensions. Okay. So we have a triangle that's something like this. We don't have to worry about the height, just A, B, and C. So we could draw a special triangle where one of the 2 sides are equal, but that's not our situation. We clearly have one side that's shortest, a medium side. So this will be our shortest. This will be our medium. And this will be our long, just so we can identify them. It says the longest side is 2 times the shortest. So I'm going to say L is 2 times the shortest. That's telling me something right there. The medium side is 3 meters more than the shortest. Okay, the medium is 3 meters more, which means it's plus the shortest more. The perimeter, okay, so perimeter equals the medium plus the short plus the long. So hopefully we can get them all in one letter. We know the perimeter is 27 meters. We know the length can be described by the short side, and the medium side can also be described by the short side. So I'm gonna rewrite them all with the descriptions using the short side. So the medium I'm going to write as 3 plus S in parentheses just to separate them, plus the short side, plus the long side, I'm going to write it as 2 times S. And now I have the perimeter, but written all in terms of the short side. So let's go ahead and add our like terms. We have 3 is the only constant. And then we have 1 S plus 1 S plus 2 S's. So we have 4 S's. So I'm going to circle that. We need to find out what that S length is. So let's subtract 3 from both sides. So we have 24 equals 4 S's. And if we divide by 4, we find out that the short side equals 6 meters. I'm going to draw that up here. So if the short side equals 6 meters, then we know that the long side is 2 times the short side. So that's 2 times 6, or 12 meters. And then we know that the medium is equal to 3 plus S. So that would be 3 plus 6, or 9 meters. And 9 plus 6 is 15, plus 12 is 27. And indeed, that is the perimeter, 27. So the word dimensions tells us that they're asking us to find the length of all 3 sides. Okay, the last example here for lesson 2.3. Textbook price. Suppose a college bookstore buys a textbook from a publishing company and then marks up the price they paid for the book, 33%, and sells it to a student at the marked up price. If the student pays $115 for the textbook, what did the bookstore pay for it? Okay, so we need to maybe talk about some definitions here. When they say marks up the price, it means that they're increasing that price by an additional 33% of what they already paid for it. Okay. So I'm going to say bookstore price is B. And the bookstore price equals the publishing price plus an additional 33%. So 33%. Remember, that is the same as 33 per 100 or 0.33 is a decimal form. So 0.33, so we've got the original publisher's price plus an additional 33%. It says if the student pays 115, that's the bookstore price, what the bookstore's charging. So we know this is 115 equals 1p plus 0.33 p's means we have 1.33 times the publisher price. So if we divide both sides by 1.33, we should be able to find out what the publisher's price was, the bookstore. So we're gonna take 155, nope, 115, I miswrote that. 115 divided by 1.33. So it looks like the publisher sold it to the bookstore for $86.47. Remember that we have to round to the nearest penny, which would be 2 decimal places. And because this second 6 right here is bigger than a 5, we have to round to 47 cents. So the publisher sold the book. The bookstore paid the publisher $86.47 for the book. So catch me back for another video.